Hello there, people of the internet. I am still not an Englishman, and this is yet another video on film directing. And this summer, apart from growing a beard, I've learned a thing or two about filmmaking, and I want to share this stuff with you. And in particular, it's about being a director on set. And I've read a book or two about film directing. Mind you, I've never been to a film school, so I can't say what's going on there. But the things I want to talk about today, I haven't noticed in any book so far. So I hope this will be helpful for any of you. This summer I've directed 2 short films, one of which I also wrote and co-produced, and then later on in September I helped out on set one of my friends for another short film. And apart from spending a ton of money, I also learned quite a lot, and I think I can say that this summer and making those films in the summer kind of changed me almost profoundly as a person, and especially as a filmmaker. I know that sounds a bit, odd, but there is some truth in it. This is the good side of making films, because on every single project, on every single film you work, you learn so much. Like, the learning curve is just through the roof every single time. So the first thing that I always keep repeating to everyone, and especially to myself, and the one thing I learned time and time again, is never, ever, ever be an asshole. Like, this is #1 rule. Filmmaking is a hard business. It's a hard business to get into. It's long hours, it's physical work, it's mental work, and mostly people who work on film sets and on films are there because they want to be there. It's not a 9-to-5 job. People usually don't go there just because they need to make some money, and you don't want to make it a bad experience. Working with an idiot on every job is not a cool thing, so make sure you are not that idiot. And also, good luck trying to get people go that extra mile for you if you're just being an asshole with them, which, trust me, when you're making a film, this happens often. I mean, having to go the extra mile. I always try to be cool and chilled and fun on set and just make it a nice experience for everyone, which I have learned is also my weakness, because I always want to be, the cool guy and have everything chilled, and I want to be friends with everyone. I'm also avoiding conflicts and confrontations, which in films tend to and have to happen a lot of times. And after directing my last film, I actually find out that I am afraid of confrontations and of conflicts, and it is now one thing that I'm working very, very actively on, and we'll also do a video about it in a short while. And that is a perfect segue to the next thing I want to talk about, which is you should always be assertive, firm, and in charge when you're on set. I believe it was Guillermo del Toro that said that film directing is one of the last truly dictatorial jobs. There will be times when stuff won't go as planned. You will be over time, over budget, your actors will go sick, the weather will not cooperate, something will be wrong with the location, the equipment won't work, whatever, and you always need to keep calm, and you always need to be in charge. Whatever's going on, regardless to what's happening in the background, as far as your cast and crew is concerned, everything is peachy at every single point in time when you're on set. In short, do not panic and have your shit together. There will be disagreements with people, with cast and crew, because they might not share the exactly same vision as you do. They might not see the final version which you should have in your head, and they might think that things will not work out. And they will try and should try to offer you different way to shoot it, different possibility, different way to act it out, different way to light it, or whatever. And I think you should always stick to your vision and always stick to your guns. You hire those people for a reason, so you should listen to them. And if they come up with a solution or with an idea, always try and work with that idea. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But having said that, always always listen to your own voice. Always go with your own vision. What I always do, and it helps me a lot, is I try and edit every scene in my head before we go and shooting it. I've been an editor for about 15 years now, so I'm guessing for me it's slightly easier because I have quite some experience with it. But I've learned that if the sequence work in my head, it will most likely work in the end. And it happened twice now on these films that I shot that my DOPs kind of didn't want or were afraid to do it the way I wanted to. And I'm guessing this is also partly have to do because both of them just came from uni and I never went to film school, and I'm guessing my way of shooting is slightly unconventional, so they just wanted to be on the safe side. But what happened is at one point I came to the editing room and I was so angry because the two shots in one scene that were missing were the ones that I wanted to do in the first place, but then decided not to because my DOP told me that it might not be a good idea. And the second time I was in the editing room and I was so glad that I actually shot it, and I was able to say to my DOP, I told you this was gonna work, because he tried quite hard to convince me in the opposite. Because there's two things that can happen if you listen to your voice and do what you set out to do in the first place. First thing is, it will actually work and it will give you a very much needed self-confidence boost as a director. Like, I actually know what I'm doing and it actually looks good on screen. Or number two, it will not work and you will use the stuff that someone else said you should do and it will work, but you will learn that what you wanted to do in the first place doesn't work, and then you will go back and start learning how to do it otherwise. And because of that, you will be a better director and you will be a more self-confident director because you will have learned another thing. So it's basically a win-win situation, and don't let doubt settle in, because when you're on set and when you start working, as a director, you are a person who has probably spent the least time on sets. Unless you're coming, you know, you used to be a part of the crew or whatever and you spend a lot of time. Chances are that everyone else on set has been on more sets than you have. And they know their shit, you know, and they're there because they want to help you out, because they want to make a film that everyone will be proud of. So listen to their opinion, listen to what they have to say, and knowing the fact that you have the least experience on set makes the doubt creep in really fast. Like, it will crumble all your confidence. Go, okay, maybe they're right and we should just do it the normal way, because if I shoot this and if I try this, it won't work. Stick to it. Just do it however you want it to do and learn from it, whatever happens. Because I'm only working on low to no budget, mainly no budget projects, I have this kind of a legit excuse, but it's still just an excuse. And a lot of people who work on my sets are either not paid or doing me a favor because I'm then return them a favor, or they're returning me a favor or whatever, or because I can't afford to pay them fully, they are paid a very low amount, like a minimal or whatever. And I always have a feeling that I cannot push them as far as I want them to, you know, to push them an extra mile, although whoever's worked on my last film will disagree with that completely. But it's still an excuse, because whoever decided to work on your set, they decided because they want to help you out, because they want to finish whatever you set yourself to finish. And if you're like me and you're having problems, you feel bad with pushing people that extra mile, always keep in mind that you're not doing this for yourself, but it's for the good of the film, because you want the film to look the best possible way. While doing it, do not be an asshole. I mentioned DOPs previously and I want to talk a bit more about that. There's a reason why you hired your DOPs. You might like the stuff they do, you might go very well along with them, I don't know, you think they're very experienced, or someone told you they're whatever. Respect that. Listen to them. Let them do their work. Let them be creative. This is a creative process, you know, it's a collaboration, it's a creative collaboration. Slowly I come to sentences that make sense. Do listen to them and do take their advice on board. However, they might not always be right. You know, sometimes they will try to talk you out of things because they're not sure it will work out, which is a good thing because they're basically just trying to save you. It's just a defense mechanism. Okay, dude, if we do this, this might just be crap. But as I said previously, stick to your guns. You might be surprised as well as they. And the last thing, which sounds really ridiculous and slightly stupid, but I think it's really, really important, and I learned it the hard way, is always stay hydrated. You will be thinking about 100 things at a time, you will be asked 100 questions at a time, you will be solving so many unpredicted problems, you will be running from one place to another, and especially if it's your project and there's not much budget involved, you will probably be doing several things at once, and it's really, really simple to forget to drink. On my film, I was driving the van with all the kit and parts of the crew to and from every location. We had problems with the weather, we had problems with location, my main actor got food poisoning, the equipment wasn't working like half of the time. I was told that I probably won't have the equipment for the last 2 days, and there were problems in abundance. And I remember it was the third day in, I think, by lunchtime it started pissing down, just the storm broke open. And I started shaking, and I didn't know if I'm gonna throw up or just collapse, or if I'm just gonna be suddenly very ill. My mind just went blank, I could not say a normal sentence. And I realized that in the last 2 days I barely had a sip of water. So it took me, I think, about 1 liter of rehydrating liquid, which is a lot and it doesn't really taste good, to kind of get back on track. And from that point on I kept hydrating normally, but I just want to tell you how really, really important it is to keep yourself and your cast and crew hydrated at all times. In a nutshell, what I think the main thing that I've learned this year about film directing is the role of a director is not to screw it up. As a director, let's say you'll have, I don't know, 20 jobs, and it's your role to give 19 of those jobs that you can screw up to other people, so you're only left with 1 job that you can screw up. So you need to make sure that every one of those 19 people, I just made a number up, you know, depends on the project. Every one of those 19 people is the best that you can find and that you can rely on, so they do not screw it up. So basically you're just lowering the chances of screwing it up. That's all you have to do as a director. It's pretty simple. To recap everything, always be in charge and be firm and collected. Trust your crew, but always also stick to your guns, stick to your vision, and keep hydrated. That's the most important stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if there are, because there are other things that you think are important as a film director on set. Click the like button if you think that I deserve it. If you don't think I deserve it, then click it just the same, because why not? I mean, what does it cost you? Anyway, subscribe if you haven't yet. There's gonna be more videos similar to this coming your way. And thank you for watching, and stop it with excuses and go make your damn film.